Welcome to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast, your guide to future tech trends and innovation in a language you understand. Now, over to your host, Neil Hughes.
Welcome back to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Have you ever noticed that all the big tech headlines and those dodgy salespeople that turn up into your reception are all saying things like AI is the future before they go into a sales pitch? But here's my problem. One, let's just forget the future for a moment. What about right now? How can AI make a difference to your business right here in 2019? And two, what about the digital skills gap? Rather than have to wait around for specialist talent, what if all data, all industries, all decision making were available to be accelerated and simplified through AI solutions that your enterprise can deploy easily, but most importantly, maintain effortlessly? Well, today's guest is the co-founder and CTO of Petuum, where they are industrializing AI, turning businesses into owners, builders, and informed users of artificial intelligence. My kind of language. So buckle up and hold on tight so I can beam your ears all the way to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, so we can get him on the show and talk about Petuum and so much more. So, a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell the listeners a little about who you are and what you do?
Well, certainly, Neil. So my name's Chirong. I'm the co-founder as well as the CTO of Petuum. Some of my credentials in the ML space include my PhD from CMU, where I have been doing research on distributed ML systems for scalability and high-performance AI. And I'd also like to say a little bit more about our company. Our CEO is Professor Eric Xing, who's one of the top professors in machine learning and artificial intelligence in the country. As I mentioned a little earlier, both myself and Eric come from CMU, which we like to think of as the best AI university in the world. Our company, Petuum, has about 180 employees, of which 30 PhDs across different areas of machine learning. Distributed machine learning systems is one of them. I'm one of them. But we also have experts in natural language processing, computer vision, time series data, and more. Our mission at Petuum is to industrialize AI. And by that, what we mean is that we take this civil engineering approach to it. We want to make this a reproducible process that businesses can use and thus become informed users of AI, become actual owners of AI, and eventually also become builders of AI. And when we talk about AI solutions here, our approach is really to provide them both the process by which a business problem is turned into an AI solution, as well as the distributed machine learning platform and management platform by which they can take that process into their hands and manage it by themselves. So that, in a nutshell, is what we mean by industrializing AI. It's about the process, and it's about providing the tools to manage that process.
Excellent. And when I was researching you guys, I quickly learned that Petuum is a startup that's building revolutionary artificial intelligence industry solutions operationalized on a distributed parallelized machine learning and data processing platform. But for people that are tuning in and hearing about you guys for the first time, could you maybe set the scene and help everyone listening understand how you're actually leveraging this technology to help build an exciting future?
Well, that is an exciting question, Neil, and I'm happy to break down this answer into two parts. The first part is that we have the AI technology. These are the distributed machine learning pieces, the NLP, natural language processing pieces, computer vision, and time series processing pieces. That these pieces actually come from our own latest and original research by our PhD team. We apply this to verticals such as the industrial and manufacturing sector, the financial services sector, as well as the healthcare sector. Now, these technologies are also applicable to other sectors, but these three are our focus areas. So we are creating AI solutions inside these three verticals: industrial, financial, healthcare. And we put this on top of our platform. That's the second part. The platform solves the challenges that come with replicating AI problem solving at scale. Part of that is massive computation and massive data scaling. That's the part that comes from our research. But there's also other problems like how do you get this to be reliable? How do you make sure that this can be customized across different say, machine assets in industrial, or customized to the needs of different departments in the financial services company, or even to different hospitals inside a hospital network. So when you take something up to scale, there's all these problems around data, massive computation, getting it to be reliable, but also because the magic of AI is in the data as well as in the customization to fit an individual asset, to fit an individual system, to fit an individual even site or division or location. You want to make sure that all of this is solved and served by the platform.
Now, for many business leaders listening, they'll have a certain amount of fatigue around phrases like artificial intelligence and machine learning because there are a lot of solutions out there that are built on future promises and not doing it right now. And this is where you guys are different from what I can see. So do you have any examples of any enterprises that you've actually enabled to design, build, experiment, customize, and operate and own vertical AI solutions? Not in the future, but right now.
Indeed. So one of the cases we're most proud of here is with a company that's called Cement. Now, this is a cement manufacturing company. So think, very heavy industrial, kind of very old world in a way, not usually connected with tech. These are the type, and I mean this in a positive way, because these are the types of companies that we want to help service, we want to serve, and we want them to become these masters of artificial intelligence. Now, Cement, they're a leading cement manufacturer. They're using our industrial AI autopilot solution, not just to get predictions and prescriptions, which is something that the machine learning and AI industry in the industrial space talks about a lot. These are basically instructions for the operator to take. And and you see the difference is that instead of us providing just the predictions and prescriptions, which is to your point, Neil, is maybe what's causing some of the fatigue out there. Because this is something that everyone's claiming to do for a while, but no one's seen the results on. Now, in the case of Petuum, Cement is also using our solution for what we call a supervised auto-steering of their operation. So this is what they call a closed loop end-to-end, where that predictions and prescriptions automatically flow into the equipment's operation so that the operator kind of goes into a hands-free but still supervisory mode. That means that they trust our AI solution to actually manage the factory's process operations and operational excellence for them. That means that we've actually crossed the threshold by which they say, well, this is an interesting prescription or prediction. We'll take that into account to, I actually trust the running of the factory. I trust this to improve my efficiency. I trust this to improve my yield, right? So, and the trick here is that for fairly complex processes that require optimization across tens of hundreds of variables simultaneously, think fan speeds, voltages, temperatures, pressure, all of these that are involved in heavy continuous manufacturing, we're enabling the operators to move from a reactive state to a proactive one, where instead of reacting to a situation that is, say, affecting fuel usage or affecting yield, they're going to be able to see this coming, or rather the AI software sees this coming and then actually offers the operator to, if we see this coming, here's a button that you can press to take action, and we will control all of the variable settings to prevent this yield dropping or fuel usage increasing from happening. And thus, what you actually see is that CMAX from this gets substantial improvements in energy cost reduction and expects that this kind of steady-handed operation of the AI allows for repeatable golden day operations every day. That's what they call it, a golden day every day. Now, other customers we are working with that we cannot just name yet include financial services firms that are looking to intelligently automate several steps of their business information processing operations. And this is for getting greater efficiency and more importantly, time savings, as well as life sciences firms that are looking to reduce their new product development life cycles. We are also looking at various multilingual and complex computer vision or image processing use cases, such as those in the healthcare field. So this is like generating what's the most informative diagnosis from an X-ray or CT scan image. And this is really to provide doctors with what we call a second medical opinion This is to avoid errors in diagnosis or errors in, say, medication prescription. So it does save time, and it does also save, physicians from burnout. But just as importantly, it also should save lives because it's avoiding misprescriptions of medicine that could be perhaps fatal. This is avoiding misdiagnosis that could also lead to unexpected consequences. I've said a lot there, so I'm going to stop here.
No problem at all. And another problem that some business leaders may or may not be experiencing or have knowledge of is today's AI solutions, or many of them, tend to be specialised in specific applications and functions and actually rely on the maintenance by just a select few developers. And what really interests me about you guys is how you're enabling businesses across multiple industries to actually become the owners, builders and informed users of AI. I mean, can you expand on that?
That's a great question. And I think that cuts to the heart of the AI fatigue that you were mentioning just a while back. So where does this fatigue come from? I think it comes from several sources, but one of them is that, if we think about it, if we just give a business a software tool that they can download off a web page and then be expected to just create a whole AI application themselves, that's not actually reasonable in today's world. Because the top two challenges that inhibit the adoption of AI, one is technological maturity, but the other is also the talent shortage. And so you need to overcome these two problems simultaneously to make a business effective with AI. So the way we have approached this problem is, first, we have a deep bench of AI experts, our 30 plus PhDs, to help businesses overcome the initial talent hurdle on their AI journey. This is what I call the 0 to 1. You need to kind of do this one time at the start to help the business over that hump. And how we do this is we work in close collaboration with our customers and their subject matter experts. In the case of Siemens, these are the plant operators, the people with 10, 20 or more years of wisdom in how to get this plant to operate at its prime. How do we get the most yield and greatest energy savings out of this? So we work in close collaboration with these experts to solve the problem. And then, once we have created that solution, what happens is that our platform contains best-in-breed, what we call AI building blocks or Lego blocks. These provide a standardized, robust, and scalable data, machine learning, and natural language processing, computer vision, document management technologies that are used to assemble the solution in a standardized way, scale that across every single factory, every single line, every single asset, every single process for which the AI solution needs to be applied to. This is what I call the one-to-end part. So you see that there's a 0 to 1 part that needs talent to overcome the initial hurdle, and there's the one-to-end part that requires us to have a platform and standardized building blocks so that the solution doesn't just become a fancy prototype sitting in literally inside a warehouse or inside a test environment, but it actually goes out to impact all of the business.
And something else that strikes me is consumers are now protected by the complex technologies that make Amazon, Netflix, Uber and Airbnb so successful. But you're on a mission to industrialize artificial intelligence. But what does that actually mean and why is it so important?
I have an opinion on this. So we like to think of protecting people from complexity as a good thing, right? It makes our life simpler. By abstracting things away, we get to focus on the things that we need. But as I was saying, AI is currently in a phase where you need to overcome 0 to 1 before you overcome the one to end. And what we've observed is that in AI, protecting people from the complexity does not actually make them more successful. Generic AI tools that you can download or that you can call via an API can only go so far in achieving specific outcomes. But what I'm not advocating for is to just dump that complexity on the business, on the users, because that's not going to work either. What you have to do, the key really, is how do you expose that complexity and manage that complexity in a way that we can harness it and overcome it. Now, there's a second part to this problem apart from the complexity, which is that only the large companies, some of which you have mentioned, really have access to the AI resources that are needed to expose and manage the complexity for the outcomes they need. And our goal at Petuum is really to bring AI and the tools and process to manage this complexity to a larger number of companies and industries. Now, our talent is required in initial stages to create the AI process. For example, the auto steer that we talked about with Siemens that achieves the most desirable outcomes, but still needs to be taken to an industrial scale. So not just one line or one factory, not just one test environment, but across the entire business. So if I were to be a bit emphatic here, it's really about process, process, process. That's the mantra behind our vision of industrializing AI. Right? At Siemens, our industrial AI process helps them address not just the operational efficiency and excellence issues. It helps them to reduce emissions. It helps them to become greener and build a sustainable business because they're burning less fossil fuels. Yet they also get to remain quality and cost competitive. It's like taking a version of their factory and making it making it next generation, making it better in every metric that matters. And that helps them to achieve their Industry 4.0 goals. Now, we think that AI at the end of the day shouldn't be the provenance of a few large companies. We provide our talent and also our platform and building blocks. All these ingredients that are needed to equalize access to AI across other businesses that want to catch up and gain the benefits of AI.
Something I think we must point out is Petuum was also recently named Technology Pioneer by the World Economic Forum. I mean, that must make you guys feel incredibly proud that you've received that level of recognition for the work that you're doing.
Well, Neil, I'm really humbled to hear you mention that. We are so proud and excited by it. I like to say we're a really august company here because the other WEF technology pioneers of years past include Airbnb, Dropbox, Mozilla, Spotify. These companies have all had game-changing, disruptive impact on their industries, and it's really a great recognition for the world-class team we've assembled at Petuum to have this WEF Tech Pioneers Award. We look forward to gaining this recognition from a number of customers across the world.
It's fantastic, it really is. And to have your company, in such great company there with those big names, it's got to be a great indication of what's ahead for you in the future. And speaking of that, and speaking of which, what are your plans for 2019 and beyond? I appreciate you probably can't share too much, but is there anything you can share about the road ahead for you guys?
Well, what we're happy to share is that we are really continuing our push into different verticals to get that recognition from more customers, as I said. So the industrial area is obviously a big focus for us, particularly the sectors such as metals and mining, chemicals, oil and gas. At the same time, financial services is another area where we plan to gain increasing traction, especially given our capabilities, these cutting-edge capabilities that touch multiple aspects of the business information process. We're talking about technologies like the ability to read documents by just taking a picture from your smartphone or putting it right into a scanner. We're talking about the processing, analysis, and even report writing that's using computer vision, advanced natural language processing, and knowledge automation. And this is basically to save, all the knowledge workers inside these businesses, the tedium and time it takes to read a ton of document and write reports. Why do that when you can have an AI program do it for you so you can focus on the important decision making that you need to be spending time on? We also continue to expand our healthcare and life sciences efforts as well, and we will be bringing products to market in these sectors. The overall theme that we have here is that we want to create tools to make the lives of professionals easier. We have tools that enhance the productivity of operators at plants, such as the Siemens cement manufacturing case, where they're now able to push the limits of the plant's operation into a golden day every day. And the same applies to financial services and healthcare. The document reading, management, and writing and reporting tools are all designed to give, whether it's a person inside, say, an accounting department, or whether it's a nurse or doctor on the hospital floor, it's designed to return to them the time they need to be performing the most important parts of their job, while taking the tedious and repetitive, but kind of still necessary to put a human on those tasks that are so take up so much of our time every day, and we want to return people their time.
Now, Petuum was also named on the list of the 2019 Best Tech Startups in Pennsylvania. And on this Daily Tech podcast, I'm quite passionate about highlighting the different startup scenes all over the world. Can you tell me more about the startup culture in Pennsylvania? Is there a vibrant community emerging there?
So the way I like to think of Pittsburgh is that it's really a capital for AI and robotics, and it's definitely one of the leading capitals in the world in this regard. Because what happens is that we have all the expertise in one place, the AI talent, the robotics talent. That really helps us build on each other's ideas and bring bigger and better technologies to fruition.
Now, before I let you go, in your mind, what makes Petuum special and what excites you about the future?
There's so many things that I love about this company and so many things I get excited about every day. If I really had to think of the big points to raise, and it pains me to put aside all the other wonderful things I want to say, but I think the big ones are, first of all, it's a talented team that cuts across different technology areas within AI, within machine learning systems, within even enterprise software. That gives us the incredible power to solve a range of issues, like to be even operating in the industrial, financial, and healthcare areas at the same time. You don't usually hear of that from startups. But our mission, compels us and drives us to solve a wide range of AI problems. And I think that's something that we should definitely do given the talent we have on hand here. Another thing that really makes us special is that we have the backing of SoftBank, which is, famous for making big investments that in companies that are going to transform entire industries, right? We've heard of their investments in, companies like WeWork, for instance, which is really transforming real estate. We've, of course, heard of their investments in the self-driving space as well. And that they've invested in us because they believe, and we believe as well, that we're going to change the way that AI is managed, created, experienced, and owned by businesses around the world. And that finally leads me to our mission, which I think is the most special part of it. We're going beyond really the making of AI products. Many companies are making AI products today. That's going to happen one way or the other. But what we really want to achieve with the process we've created and with this platform for scalable AI and machine learning, for the management and process management and the customization and reliability, we do this because we want to actually industrialize the way AI is done. And the consequence of that industrialization is going to be more equitable access to AI for all organizations. Just as the transformation, from, medieval engineering to modern civil engineering. Now, every company, if they want to build an office for themselves, they can call up a contractor, they can call up an architect, and they can do it. And such tools don't exist in the AI world today, but that's what we want to make available. We want to distribute the power that comes from AI to everyone.
I love exactly what you're doing and the reasons behind it. So if there's any business leaders that are listening and wanting to find out more information about this and the great work that you're doing, what's the best way of finding you online, and also the best way of contacting a member of your team if they do have any questions?
So the best way to reach out to us, one is via our website. So that's www.petuum.com. I'm going to spell it out because it's such a interesting word here, and that's PET. That's pet, and then UUM, umbrella, mango. So that's 6 letters: PET as in pet, and UUM as in umbrella, mango. www.petuum.com. We also have an email address that listeners can contact us at business@petuum.com.
Well, I'll add those links to the show notes and the blog post that will accompany this podcast episode. But I absolutely love what you're doing here, and especially how you're enabling businesses across multiple industries to actually become the owners, builders, and informed users of AI. And I think that is such a crucial step in making this technology the huge success that it's going to be and deliver those game-changing moments. And of course, as you've been named a technology pioneer by the World Economic Forum, and alongside some pretty big names, there's now a bit of pressure on you there, isn't there? But more than anything, just a big thank you for sharing your story with me today.
Absolutely, Neil. I think it's a pleasure we're glad to have. I think at the end of the day, someone needs to do this. Every company in the world that's doing AI in some form or another has their role to play. I think the role for us to play here is really to turn this in AI into that industrial process, and with it, really enable that promise of AI for everyone.
I love what they've done here at Petuum and how they've created these standardised building blocks for assembly AI, affordably and sustainably. And their Symphony platform also allows users to take these building blocks and design AI processors that can be operated in flexible environments. And by that, I mean workstation, IoT, cloud, and data center. And like I said in the episode there, today's AI solutions tend to be specialised in specific applications and functions and rely on the maintenance side of things from a few select developers. So actually enabling businesses across multiple industries to become owners, builders and informed users of AI is just as important as any technology. But over to you guys listening. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your experiences, your insights, and you can share those with me by emailing me directly at techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter at Neil C. Hughes, and you can also find me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and a whole heap of other places. So you've got no excuse for not telling me what you thought of today's conversation. But I'm afraid we've reached the end of another episode, but I'll return tomorrow with another great guest that hopefully will get you thinking about technology and how it's transforming multiple industries. But for now, thanks for listening, and until next time, don't be a stranger.
Thanks for listening to the Tech Blog Writer Podcast. Until next time, remember, technology is best when it brings people together.